Some sun and a high of 73 with a light breeze at 7 miles per hour out of the southwest. Tonight, mostly clouds with lows around 62. Tomorrow, slightly foggy in the morning followed by some clouds and a temperature near 71. Moving into Wednesday, about the same with a high of 74 and partly cloudy. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Visit the newly remodeled Mid-South Lumber Hardware and Feed Store in Youngstown. They have a full line of plumbing, electrical, hardware, and tools for your DIY home projects, as well as lumber and animal feed. Now offering not only baby chicks and a full line of poultry supplies, but also bunnies and parakeets. They also carry a wide selection of Duplin wines and gourmet products so you don't have to drive to the beach. Come see us at Mid-South Lumber on Highway 231 in Youngstown.
Hewitt Tire and Auto. Call 850-769-7323. Your certified AAA service center and hometown towing. Visit them online at HewittTire.com. On Airport Road in Panama City. 850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and hometown towing.
Need a tow? Call Billy at Hometown Towing, 850-265-1562.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
The future depends on teachers. Every day, teachers are shaping our tomorrows, starting their students on journeys that will change the course of history. Right now, in a classroom somewhere in the United States, there's a teacher inspiring a future scientist who will make preventing pandemics their life's work, sharpening the mind of an aspiring environmentalist who will help combat climate change, and generating possibilities for a student who will be the first in their family to graduate college. It all starts with teachers who meet challenges with creativity, who reinvent education for the future, who work towards a school system that lifts up every child, regardless of race, income, or zip code, and to enable the full potential of our students, our communities, and our country. Explore a career that leaves a legacy you can be proud of. Shape the future. Teach. Learn more and receive free support at teach.org. Teachers shape the future. Right now, in a classroom somewhere in the United States, there's a teacher inspiring a future scientist who will make preventing pandemics their life's work, sharpening the mind of an aspiring environmentalist who will help combat climate change, and generating possibilities for a student who will be the first in their family to graduate college. Explore a career that leaves a legacy you can be proud of. Teach. Learn more and receive free support at teach.org.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the next evolution of Sports Talk Radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now, we're taking...
With the first pick.
This is the last ball you got in the bag.
The Inside Drive. From college to the pros, interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Monday morning. You're listening to The Inside Drive on what should be a national holiday. You're listening either on 104.3 or 101.9 in Port St. Joe. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. All you got to do is search up ESPN Northwest Florida. 3 local shows every day, Monday through Friday. The Coach James Hale Show from 7 to 9, right here with the Inside Drive from 11 to 1. Of course, the Afternoon Underdogs rounding up 3 fantastic local shows right here on ESPN at Northwest Florida from 4 to 6 p.m. You can also download our free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store. That one, all you got to do is search up 104.3. It'll show up right there in your first page of the search results, and that way you can keep up with us wherever you are. You know, if you're not in your car or if you're in somebody's car that doesn't have a radio, I don't know if that's a thing or not, but
if the radio's broken,
yeah, that's
the
true.
Signal's bad, you know, because their antennas fell off, then maybe, but that's going to be a rarity.
Yes, a rarity indeed, But just in case, you can download that free mobile app, and a lot of contests come through that app as well. And then, of course, if you want to head over to ESPNPC.com, you can always click Stream Live right there as well. And while you're there, if you're tired of, I think Netflix is about to go up as well. It's been YouTube TV, Hulu, now Netflix with a price update. Now is the time to jump in on Lucid Streams TV for just $42.99 a month, or maybe $41.99 a month. Either way, it's a lot cheaper than what you're paying now, and it's got everything and more. You just head over to ESPNPC.com, scroll down until you see that TV channel icon, click it, follow the prompts to sign up for Lucid Streams TV. All right, looks like Jay is busy doing Jay things, which I'm assuming is teaching golf. Hopefully, maybe somebody, if he's not, somebody can
teaching or learning.
Yeah, or learning. Or learning indeed. Obviously, Super Bowl Sunday was yesterday. I think a lot of surprising outcome for most people thinking about it. Maybe not Chiefs fans, knowing how dominant they've been this year. But, hey, it's certainly in the books, so we're going to spend some time talking about it. We'd love to hear your feedback as well. You can give us a call at 850-215-6290. I am going to start, though, because we were not here. Well, I was not here on Friday. I don't know if you talked about it Friday afternoon there, David Hayes, or not. But wanted to give a shout-out to all the Southern Elite Sports winter flag football season champions and runners-up. Second and third grade division, you had the Lions win the championship. Probably the only championship Lions will win anytime soon. Runner-up there was the Gators, second and third grade division. In the fourth and fifth grade division, big shout-out to the Hurricanes, runner-up there. And, of course, Team Dynasty behind a great effort by those kids. Found themselves in a deficit at halftime, but much like the Chiefs usually do, found a way to climb back into the game and eventually get the dub. So congratulations to all of our kids there on Team Dynasty. Big shout out to all of them. Obviously, we've got Miles Taggart Fish, John Andrew Bland, Griffin Fruin, Garrett Moore, G-Money as we call him, Luke McCord, Asher Jostin, Dawson Darcy. Am I missing anybody? Obviously, Liam. But y'all
You
hear
get Easton?
Oh, Easton McKinney. There you go. I think that's all 11 right there. So big shout out to those boys. We're going to dip our toes into some pylon 7-on-7 here coming up right down the road. Really just straight shot down the road. Quick left, quick right. Boom.
I thought my schedule was thinning up, and then things happened this weekend where it's like, okay, it just got booked up again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, it's going to be kind of, won't necessarily miss the drive, but at the same time, the drive's always fun going out there. And then, of course, when you come back, if you get a win, it's always fun too. Driving out there,
it's harder.
Yeah, because the season's over.
Well, I guess it depends on the day for me. If I was coming, which way I was going after the game. But it's it was. I'll say this: it was definitely a nice area to have the games, right? Because there was plenty of room for everyone, and but I don't miss going right over here, or actually I do miss rather going right over there to Frank Nelson.
Yep.
And, I'm there in 15 minutes. Like, we're good to go.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see what the future holds when it comes to all of that stuff. But also, congratulations in the 6th and 7th and 8th grade division. Runner-up there was the Bucks. Champions were the Gunners. And then in the 9th, 10th, and 11th grade division. Runner-up was the 49ers. Champions were the Dolphins. So congratulations to all those particular teams for a great season. And, of course, looking forward to summer coming up as well. We'll talk a little bit later about all the playoff games going on. And, of course, we'll have our middle school update as well at 11:20. I don't know if anybody's coming in to talk about it, but I've got all the information I need to certainly talk about it as well. But yeah. Let's dive into the old Super Bowl. And the last time we'll have 3 Roman numerals until 2 years from now. Because next year it'll just be LX, I believe. 60.
Yeah, LX, yeah.
60 Super Bowls. And
well, then the next year, though, it would be LXY.
LXI, yeah.
Yeah. So that would be 3 digits.
Yeah, 2 years.
2
years, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
You said 10 years. I might have misheard.
Well, and that's really a stupid point anyway. It really doesn't matter for anything. But yeah, so obviously kind of got kicked off yesterday in the first half there. And, everybody kind of was like, oh, boy.
He got kicked off, and then it was like, all right.
Is this the usual that's going to happen?
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm referring to the offensive pass interference call there on A.J. Brown.
With the flag.
Yeah. I mean, and, he put his hands on his face, but
I think that was the saving grace for me, where it's like, okay, I get that it was tacky. Even Tom Brady was saying, but Tom Brady, come on now, guys. Did y'all watch Tom Brady play football and the things that the Patriots
he is the refs all the time.
Right, exactly. Yep. And he's going to be, and he should be, and any former football player and really any fan of football should be on the side of let the players play. Yeah. If it's ticky-tacky, like, come on. And that's how we should all view it. However, when we watch, the games over and over again and we kind of get a feeling for how they're going, when you put your hands into anyone's face mask, there was a sack on Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
There was hands to the face there. Yep. Was never called. Again, this is you guys. And take this Super Bowl. This was a chance for the NFL, if they rigged these things, to make history.
Yeah.
History was not made last night.
Nope.
Really, in the sense of the 3-P, once again, is not done.
Yep.
Right? And if they were to have made history with it, it would have been the Eagles with the only shutout in NFL history. Outside of that, there was no history made. It was a snooze fest. Why in the world would the NFL rig a snooze fest for the Super Bowl?
Nope.
Get out of your gutters, guys, and go taste some grass. Go touch some grass. Well, taste it, too, because I feel like a cow every now and again.
Sprayed with anything.
Yeah, well, I guess you can't guarantee that unless you take care of your own lawn specifically.
That's
but
true.
Then again, if the mosquito trucks have been
oh, yeah, absolutely. But, yeah, I mean, and it just further proves, and we talk about this all the time when it comes to NFL teams, that it is all about your offensive and defensive line. And in my opinion, that's where this game clearly was won last night in a very dominating fashion. What was it, 36 total yards the Chiefs had in the first half? Some wild,
it was low. And they never ran the ball.
Nope.
If Patrick Mahomes is leading you in rushing, that's not a good sign.
Nope, absolutely. I mean, and they've got a host of running backs, but yeah, really. And, I understand, but at the same time, you've got to keep the defense off balance with run and pass. But the Eagles, in fact, we talked about this just a few minutes ago, did not blitz once on Patrick Mahomes' 42 dropbacks. They did have a couple plays that would technically qualify as blitzes. Zach Bond, he came in, but then they dropped a lineman out of that. So technically, basically, we're rushing 4 or 3 all game. He only rushed 4. He rushed 4 players 39 times and 3 players 3 times. And despite only rushing those amount of players, the Eagles managed to pressure Mahomes on nearly 45% of his dropbacks. That was through 3 quarters before Fangio gave his backups some run in the 4th. They sacked Mahomes 6 times with a 4-man rush, something that has never happened to Patrick Mahomes in his career before.
And how many times should he have been sacked?
Yeah.
But he's an escape artist.
Yep.
Despite what anyone thinks, he played a great game last night. He had some bad interceptions, but he still was doing Mahomes type things. It was just the Eagles were that much better last night. They put it all together.
No doubt. Complete game, that is for sure. He had never been sacked more than 4 times by a 3 or 4 man rush in a single game. I'm glad he was, because Hard Rock's sack prep was, or prop was 5.5. And I took the over in that one.
There you go.
And field goals was 3.5, and that one hit as well.
And that thanks to Jake Elliott.
Yeah, Jake Elliott literally did that on his own. Absolutely. I don't think he didn't kick once. Yeah, because every time they scored, they went for 2, which makes sense.
One of them, it had me questioning their first touchdown.
Yeah.
Right, because it was like, well, if you score 5 more, or at that point it would have been 4 more touchdowns, after the extra point, you have 7, then you would go up, provided that you stopped the Eagles every time, 35-34. But also it made sense in the fact that you score 4 touchdowns with the 2-point conversions every time. You're at 32, and then you have a chance to win with a field goal. The problem is that math don't really math in the realm of reality, because you're not going to score 4 touchdowns and get a 2-point conversion 4 times in a row, because normally you go into a game with 2 to 3 really good 2-point conversion plays.
Absolutely.
So that fourth one's going to be dicey.
No doubt. No doubt in the fact that you just had to score in general to make that happen.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, obviously the Eagles, the key was getting obviously pressure on Mahomes, and they not only got pressure, but they got pressure up the middle too. Their guard, or their inside guys were getting a lot of action and kind of containing him, and the pocket was certainly collapsing. Looked a little bit there like the Tampa Bay Super Bowl from a few years ago. That now they blitzed quite a bit,
41% of the time.
Yeah, in that game. So this was a little different because they got so much pressure just using their front 4, sometimes front 3. But Philadelphia's line pressured 30% in their 37% of dropbacks in their last meeting in the Super Bowl, but it failed to take him down for a sack on 11 pressures. So they didn't get a single sack on him in the last Super Bowl. And those 11 snaps just produced 35 yards. And the lack of negative plays, unlike last night's Super Bowl game, kept the Chiefs' offense alive in that particular game, and they ended up winning it there. But sacks and the pressure on Mahomes were certainly the key yesterday. And then obviously when they were up 10-0, I was like, here we go again. Chiefs always get down by 10. They come right back.
Said it on the broadcast, right?
Yeah, and then Cooper DeJean, the rookie, 22-year-old, on his birthday, gets himself a nice little pick 6. Exciting for the rookie youngster out of Iowa there. But I mean, the defensive line and certainly the offensive line as well. And if you would have told me that they wouldn't have really needed Saquon to win this game before it started, I would have said no. They're going to have to really rely on Saquon. But
did you take the over with I think it closed at like 124.5 for Saquon?
No, I didn't bet Saquon anything. I did bet a specific range for the points to finish between 43 and 49, which obviously when the Chiefs started scoring in garbage time, that
what did we end up at, 62?
Yeah, because it was 40-22. Yep.
All right, Chef Ross says there was history made last night, which I don't think the NFL would rig this for this particular piece of history to be made. But both the leading rusher for both teams was the quarterback.
Yep, absolutely.
So there's going to be, I mean, especially in the day and age of numbers that we're in, there's always going to be some sort of record that you could make. But like, we're never going to look back and be like, man, that Chiefs-Eagles games, that's where both the quarterbacks, because it was such a blowout, really, where that doesn't really matter.
No.
At least to me, maybe I'm in the minority in that, just like the minority of the people who liked the Kendrick Lamar concert last night, but I'm in the minority in that as well.
Yeah, it's do some digging, do some research. For the boomer generation,
you're asking too much. Yeah. It's not just the boomer generation, brother.
No, it's a
demographic. It's a large demographic of people who they want everyone to be included until it's time that they're discluded.
Yeah, discluded. I like that. But yeah, I mean, obviously there's tons to talk about in the Super Bowl, but it really kind of got out of hand quick, and it was. We still had a lot of energy at where we were at the Krellings because of the Super Bowl board.
Oh yeah, You had a board going on.
Yeah, we had Matho got the first quarter, Joey T got the second quarter, and then an adult finally got the third quarter, and then luckily with that last 2-point conversion, I had 0 and 2, so I ended up getting the final score.
That's what's fun about quarters or playing the boards, the square boards, is the fact that anyone could win at any time.
Yeah, no doubt. It's 100% luck. Couple fun facts from the Super Bowl. We talk about a lot when you go to your first Super Bowl. Not many quarterbacks ever return again, let alone win another one. Jalen Hurts joins John Elway, Bob Greasy, and I think his first name is Phil Dawson, is the only QB.
Lynn
Dawson. I have a friend, Kyle. His dad's name is Phil, and last name's Dawson. The only quarterbacks to lose in their Super Bowl debut as a starter and then go on to win a title. So certainly rare air there for Jalen Hurts. And kudos for him for coming back and making it happen. And then, somehow this stat is true with how many players that Bama has put into the league. But Devonta Smith became the first player drafted out of Alabama to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl last night. Jalen Hurts obviously had a rushing touchdown as well, but he was drafted out of Oklahoma.
Yeah,
obviously spent a lot of time there with Alabama as well. But yeah, so it was cool to see a Bama guy get a touchdown there, and then of course Jalen Hurts, well deserved, won the MVP of the Super Bowl. But yeah. Jalen Hurts, $52 million. They're gonna have to make some decisions. That's for sure. A lot of Georgia and Bama players on there. It's basically like the SEC.
Eagles are going to be in such good shape next year, though, because they are not spending a ton of money on the players that they've got because they've drafted so well, and that just goes to show, man, draft well and you can do great things. Draft bad, and again, it's still a coin flip. Every single time that you pick a player, the percentages might range anywhere from 40 to 75% that they work out well, but
and probably
you can take your number one over. That's why, and the steam is starting to pick up that the Titans are more than likely going to be trading that number one pick because they want generational talent at number one. And I look,
it just happens more or less than it does.
Right, exactly. And the thing is why doesn't Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, at least right now, separate themselves extremely far? Because they're good quarterbacks. I think that they're going to be fine in the league, but are they that good to spend a number one draft pick on? I don't think so.
Yeah,
I really don't think so.
Especially when you've been trying to kind of build one of the quarterbacks that you've had over the last few years.
Yeah, one of the many.
Yes, one of the many. But yeah, and then here we are. NFL season is officially over. On to 2025. Certainly looking forward to that season, getting healthy, getting Brock extended, and several players now on the have requested trades, and that includes Deebo Samuel.
Yep.
Which is fine.
Deja vu.
You got George Kittle, who says, I want to remain a Niner for the rest of my life, and then you got Deebo, who's like, I want to be traded again for the second time.
San Fran, just do him like Luka.
Trade him.
No, well, I'll talk about George Kittle. Like Luka.
No.
Get rid of him.
No, I'm okay
star
with
for star.
Yeah, there you go. I'm okay with Deebo going one good year. He can't stay out of being injured, and defense has figured out what he's done. So he's more of a liability and a big salary cap hit than anything. But heard some rumors that old Davante Adams, now that Aaron Rodgers will not be returning with the Jets, is looking to make a move back to the West Coast.
Devontae to the West Coast or Aaron Rodgers?
No, Devontae to the West Coast.
We know that Aaron Rodgers is not going to be a part of the Jets moving forward. Yes. But is he going to play football in 2025?
That's probably the bigger question. He hasn't said he's not going to. He's just not going to be playing for the Jets. And then, of course, you got Cooper Kupp in the mix, Myles Garrett in the mix. So
I really want to see the Vikings go out and get Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Let Sam Darnold walk and bring in Aaron Rodgers, so it's just...
That'd be hilarious. Repeating itself.
Exactly.
He's referring to Brett Favre, who went from the Packers to the Jets to the Minnesota Vikings. Be interesting to see. I mean, obviously they got JJ in there. Do they want to keep him behind somebody that knows what they're doing? Question mark.
I would say. I mean, look, Aaron Rodgers still, despite what everyone
he's a fantastic quarterback,
and not just that, he's getting up there in age. There's no doubt about that. But his numbers still for any other quarterback, they would be like, yeah, I'll take those numbers. But if it's Aaron Rodgers producing those numbers, that's, oh my gosh, you fell off a cliff. And he didn't even play the year prior due to an Achilles injury.
Yep. And then was recovering for the same thing.
And I'm not a big Aaron Rodgers fan.
Yeah.
That's just one of those things that is what it is. It's the reality of what we're talking about.
Yep, no doubt. Watching some of these highlights, he was trying to get out of there, but they just that's the key. You got to have the pressure and being able to still drop everybody into coverage, because that's what he's been so good at against. He's so good against the blitz, because if he gets outside of the initial pocket collapsing, he's going to find somebody. He's going to find a Kelsey or find one of his running backs. But last night there was no room to even scramble. I mean, obviously he led his team in rushing, but they got away from handing the ball off to Pacheco and Hunt and all those guys so quickly. It was just a little bit surprising. But, because they were only, halftime they were down
24-0.
24-0. And then
3 possessions.
Yep. So, they
back a bull.
They went right back into it, drove down the field, or started down there in the back end, and then threw another interception, which led to another Philadelphia.
And that's when it was like, okay.
Yep, that was pretty much all.
Go eat some more food.
Yeah, more food coming, no doubt. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. If you want to give us a call anytime, 850-215-6290. And maybe we'll throw some questions out there, too, as we progress through the show today. But I do want to touch on middle school sports as our standings, and then, of course, the games we got coming up this week. You guys are listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Weather in the Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
Up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth storm coverage.
Winter Storm Enzo.
And breaking weather as it happens.
Hurricane Helene.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
We do have a tropical storm warning.
Rely on it.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Monday. For this afternoon and evening, some sun and a high of 73 with a light breeze at 7 miles per hour out of the southwest. Tonight, mostly clouds with lows around 62. Tomorrow, slightly foggy in the morning followed by some clouds and a temperature near 71. Moving into Wednesday, about the same with a high of 74 and partly cloudy. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM. Or call us at 850-851-0453.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
From the fairway to the rough.
I was hoping to squeeze in 9 holes before this rain starts.
From the greens to the bunker.
Certainly, Your Eminency.
It's the Inside Drive with Ryan and Jay from the Bill Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studio.
The good Lord would never disrupt the best game of my life.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. As you know, we are your home for select Orlando Magic games. And 2 of those selections are this week coming up, including tonight. Right after the afternoon underdogs, we'll take you to tip-off. That is the Atlanta Hawks traveling over there to Orlando, kind of like Jay does when he goes to Tallahassee, but that's a little more south-southeast than north or east-northeast, excuse me. So this is east-southeast to get over there to Orlando. And then, of course, on Wednesday, coming up right after the afternoon underdogs as well, tip-off at 6 p.m., the Charlotte Hornets will be traveling over there to play the Orlando Magic. So you can catch that right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. And I know our winners have already been announced. And the Holland Hearts Magic Express will take place at the end of March, which will be here right before we know it. But also spring break is here as well. I know people are starting to come into town. Those colleges are already off and heading down, and then the high schools will follow. And it pretty much runs between this week all the way through like the 3rd, 4th week in April. So just like that, it's spring break time again.
Oh, my goodness, man.
Right?
It's wild thinking about that because it would be, the first 2 weeks of spring break for us living here as locals, we were like, we'll wait till it starts getting thick. Then it was like 2 months, like, oh, yeah, we're in school, but as soon as school's out, boom, we're headed out here.
No doubt. And, of course, our spring break here for Bay County coming up, I believe that's the 17th through the 24th-ish. That includes the weekends. But yeah, let's talk about some of the middle school action. Obviously, we'll talk about last Thursday as well, as I didn't get to recap it on Friday. So on the on the boys basketball side of things, don't have a score reported for North Bay Haven and Bozeman. I can't remember if Jay had texted us that or not. And then Rutherford took down Breakfast Point Academy, and that was at Rutherford, 51-31. University Academy kind of held in there a little bit. Their second ever home game against the powerhouse Jinx. That one was 46-24. Coach Roderick Olds had messaged me and said he was pretty impressed on how much growth UA's basketball team has had. So that was pretty cool to hear. And then Surfside beat Merritt Brown 52-11. And then last but not least, Mowat had beat Bay Haven 49-27. On the girls' soccer side of things, we had several games last Thursday. We get back underway tomorrow, Tuesday. Mowat beat Palm Bay at Palm Bay 2-1. Surfside beat Merritt Brown 8-1 at Surfside, which I found out Surfside and Breakfast Point Academy both play at Gavlax Stadium. So that'll be fun when we go play. I think we're playing Breakfast Point away, but that'd be cool to see them out there. And then University Academy beat Jinx at home, or beat at University Academy's home 8-0 in that one. Shout out to Ryan, who had 2 goals in that game. Some nice finishes on some crosses. And then Bay Haven beat Tyndall Academy 9-0. I know the Mercy rule is 8-0, but if you score more than 8 in the first half, you at least go to the second half. So, and then let's see the schedule coming up this week. Breakfast Point Academy tomorrow will be traveling to Jinx. Rutherford will be traveling to Merritt Brown. Tyndall Academy traveling to Mowat. University Academy will be traveling to North Bay Haven. And then Surfside will be traveling to Palm Bay. Bay Haven does have a bye in this Tuesday's slate. Coming up on Thursday, North Bay Haven at Surfside, Mowat at University Academy, Merritt Brown at Tyndall Academy, Jinx at Rutherford, Bay Haven at Breakfast Point, and then Palm Bay has a bye coming up. On the boys basketball side of things, I'd have to calculate all the standings, but I know Jinx hasn't lost yet, so I'm assuming Jinx is in the lead of the standings there. And I do know University Academy on the girls' soccer at 4-0 is leading as well, and they haven't given up a goal yet. So they've been playing some great soccer. Now they got a good test tomorrow, against North Bay Haven. Coming up tomorrow on the boys basketball side, you got Bay Haven at Bozeman, Surfside at North Bay Haven, Rutherford at Merritt Brown, Breakfast Point at Jinx, University Academy at Mowat. Coming up on Thursday, University Academy with another away game on the boys basketball side. They are traveling up to Bozeman, Mowat traveling to Merritt Brown, Jinx traveling to Bay Haven, North Bay Haven traveling to Breakfast Point Academy, and Surfside traveling to Rutherford. And that basically rounds out your middle school results from last Thursday and your upcoming schedule for that side of things as well. So get out there and support those young athletes, as they've certainly been doing a wonderful job. A lot of commercials yesterday in the Super Bowl, which, for 30 seconds, if you got 8 million lying around, you can make it happen. And some of the highlighted ones, this is just kind of ranking them. First Delivery, I think, was a lot of people's favorite. That was the Budweiser. They actually did a 90-second commercial with the young Clydesdale, who was told that they couldn't be, they weren't ready yet to carry it.
So was that like $24 million thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep. $24 million. Yeah, 90 seconds to spot a young Clydesdale providing his delivery horse with a rolling, fallen keg halfway across the country. The colt is the star, a compelling journey that would have made Sassy, Chance, and Shadow, Homeward Bound, an American classic, very, very proud. He proved that the Mustache Rancher Budweiser employee stagecoach driver who told him he was too young to join up with the adult Clydesdales was certainly wrong. Obviously, we're not using horse transportation anymore, although if you've ever seen a Clydesdale...
Well, there's places.
There is, the Amish, so Bleacher Report, you're wrong. Go see the Amish up there in Pennsylvania. I don't know if they're using Clydesdales, but certainly other things as well. But yeah, have you ever seen a Clydesdale in person?
Yeah, actually at Daytona.
Nice.
Yeah.
They are big.
They're big horses, yeah.
No doubt. I've seen them when I was a kid in Virginia somewhere, and I might even have been at one of the Budweiser plants, maybe. I don't know. I can't.
Yeah, they had like a Budweiser area going on or whatever, so
Gotcha.
they were in there, and it's like, yeah, they are some big horses.
Yep, no doubt. They are strong and can pull a lot of things.
I could only imagine being one of the people who spent $8 million on a 30-second commercial, and then you see the game being a blowout, and you're like, why did we choose which I don't know if they get to choose the fourth quarter or not.
I don't know how that works.
You probably do not get to choose your positioning.
Might be a lottery or something.
But you're like, you haven't seen your commercial play, and you're like, oh no, man, we spent $8 million, and it's going to go from 31 million people watching it to 16 million people watching it.
Yep, absolutely. It'd be interesting to see how the viewership trend went once they released those numbers. Another top commercial, as reported by Bleacher Report, was the Ultra Hustle. William Dafoe's menacing seriousness is used to the good effect here, and Catherine O'Hara is one of those rare comedic presences who's funny when she's doing absolutely nothing. If anything, she needs more lines. Seeing the duo wrecking all corners in Pickleball Hustle works well enough, but you'd think they'd be actually good at the sport. They just win enough to earn some money and buy all those Michelob Ultras they seem to want so badly. Another one, a big one, was the Hollywood Magic. That was where Channing Tatum was teaching the members of Wrexham Football Club how to do the Magic Mike routine. Obviously, that was a funny commercial there, and didn't know that Stock Cold Brew Coffee had so much marketing dollars to drop an ad here in the Super Bowl. Ray-Ban and Meta, they had another collaboration commercial there that featured Chris Pratt and Chris Hemsworth, and I was talking about their glasses there, and he eats a $6.2 million banana as an art exhibit, which kind of plays on that art exhibit that people have been talking about over the last little whiles. A smile in the Ritz Salty Club. That was one of the few ads to include the product in its title. This one gets off to a strong start with a great premise. Ritz crackers are salty, and for that reason, there's a club that celebrates salty people. That's where Aubrey Plaza and Michael Shannon come in, two reliably angry scowlers. Shannon wins best line when he notes people think it's a glitch when he smiles, while pasting a fake grin that somehow conveys a barely contained rage. It seems like excluding Oscar the Grouch from Sesame Street was a missed opportunity, but Bad Bunny shows up probably for the youth demo, and he doesn't quite get the purpose of the club at first, but then indeed redeems himself at the end. I know there's a lot of people out there that tune into one football game for the year, and usually that's to watch the entertainment and the commercials. And a lot of people that are huge football fans probably leaned into that a little bit more than usual too, as well, with the domination of the Eagles over the Chiefs. On and letters of the day, that was Elmo says the quiet part out loud in a spot with Roger Federer, correctly pointing out that the letters on increasingly popular On running shoes definitely do not look like an O and an N. Kudos for the brand for confronting an issue that, at least for me, is the first thing I think about when I see those shoes. Elmo telling Federer he still loves him, even though he clearly doesn't know his alphabet yet, is a quality zinger that comes from a helpful place. So, OnCloud spending some cash, but then throwing some shade at themselves, so...
Yeah, and for most of these companies, they spend $8 million on something, they're going to recoup that times 3 by the end of the first quarter, so...
Yeah, there you go. So it's
you get to continue to use that commercial and not spend $8 million every time that it's aired.
Yep.
And there was also some commercials that we'd seen also, and I don't like
That's
that.
the thing that
the Post Malone and Shane Gillis commercial. I'm not a big fan of seeing stuff that I've already seen, and I don't really pay attention to the commercial. That's my time too.
That's why I'm kind of going through these.
Yeah.
Especially when you're with a bunch of people.
Oh, 100%.
If you're just there watching it with a couple others, it's easy to lock in on the commercials. But and then of course Dunkin' back again with the Dunkings 2 commercial. But the coffee wars continue to be upon us, and Dunkin' Donuts fired the first salvo. Casey Affleck suits up with his brother Ben Affleck, Bill Belichick, Drusky, and a deeply method Jeremy Strong, at which he appears to be some kind of coffee convention. It's actually the Java Jam, which is explained as the battle of the coffee brand bands. Anyway, among other things, some green apron Starbucks-esque stand-ins get a Bostonian tongue lashing from hawking an artisanal's goat milk. It's aggressive. The Afflecks bicker about not paying enough for Matt Damon to show up. Jay and Silent Bob were there. I thought that was pretty cool. And Strong eventually emerges from a vat of coffee beans to deliver a speech as Paul Revere. You have to watch the nearly 7-minute extended cut to get all that, but the short ad isn't without its charms. Next, they had The Tale as Old as Websites. You've probably needed to see Banshees of Inisherin, which came out in 2022 to fully appreciate Barry Keoghan riding a donkey and chucking laptops through pub windows in an old-timey Ireland, but there's still something for fans of surrealism and absurdity. It's also fascinating to think that this brainstorming session that started with a question on how to market Squarespace, a company that builds websites, and ended with Keoghan riding a levitating donkey off a cliff. And then obviously you can watch the extended version, which has a lot more there as well. I don't remember all these. I remember
deluxe editions of commercials are crazy, like deluxe, albums and stuff. Where it's like, if you pay $29.99, you can get these 2 extra songs. Yeah, here you go. Go to YouTube and watch the extended version of this commercial.
Absolutely. You can just go to Breach Report and find this article, and it goes through all these. Next, Pringles had a commercial called "The Call of the Mustaches." If we were ranking commercials on a most unhinged basis, everybody else would be playing for second against this Pringles ad. In chronological order, we get Adam Brody noticing a dearth of Pringles at a party, at which point to an empty can tells him to blow into it. It is unclear how this will solve problems, but Brody compiles after like a half second of thought. This is maybe the 7th weirdest thing that happens in the next 25 seconds. The conch-esque sound emitted from the can echoes across the globe and causes notable mustaches to tear themselves off of various faces. Notably, Nick Offerman, Andy Reid, James Harden, Mr. Potato Head are all affected. And we should note that Harden's reaction seems the most painted and genuine. That's impressive considering the beard, and of all that on his face, he only cares the second most about his mustache. To the tune of the 1960s Batman TV show theme song, the mustaches fly towards Brody and the party carrying Pringles cans, crash into a window, and then slide off the screen. I do remember this one. Presumably, the mustaches are all dead now. The sequence of events resulted in no additional Pringles making it to the party. Mustaches. Flying mustaches off
there you
of everybody.
Go. Yeah, that was a good one. I think my favorite one was probably the Lilo and Stitch commercial, which was early in the game.
Yeah, I do remember that one because it was early on. Let's see if they got that one in here. DoorDash obviously had an interesting one there. They did a good job with their commercial with Nate Bargatze, who is one of my favorite current comedians. And then, of course, the big man on the cul-de-sac, which you had said you've seen some clips of that on social media.
Yeah.
I think
the whole commercial. The Shane Gillis and Post Malone. Yeah, whole commercial.
The whole kit and caboodle. But obviously it was pretty funny. And then you see Peyton Manning come in there with his jorts on and his fanny pack. And just that, I guarantee that was a fun time when they were making that commercial. David and Dave, the other David, we can celebrate the competitive power star of Hemmingsworth Pratt duo versus David Beckham and Matt Damon. But the stellar Artois spot noses ahead on strength of superior cleverness. Damon, who isn't Damon, but instead Beckham's long-lost twin brother Dave, lives in America and can punt footballs into the troposphere because genetics. Beckham's parents were explaining that they called the twin played by Damon the other David because when there are 2 Davids, one has to be the other David. is funnier than anything that happens between Pratt and Hemsworth. Bonus points for the not meta to be clear, closing stinger in which Damon tries to grasp how well known Beckham is if he's asking Matt Damon's famous only to learn Beckham's unfortunately Ben Affleck famous. And the number one commercial that they had listed here was Chasmo finally goes home. Plot summary in that one is Chasmo is an alien who you can learn more about in the extended 2-minute, the deluxe version as David calls it. All you really need to know is that he's thankful for someone shared Totino's pizza rolls with him, and then he gets crushed by the doors of his spaceship, horrifying the kids he's befriended while visiting Earth. Robinson and Richardson take it from there. 10 out of 10, no notes. That's the number one commercial that they had, Bleacher Report that they had. So, but just like that, the commercials are done, the Super Bowl is done, and we got to go ahead and take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to talk about some college basketball action from this past weekend as a couple of the top seeds went down, number 1 and number 2, both falling. You guys are listening to The Inside Drive. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the most college basketball.
Three-pointer, college basketball is back.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.
The SEC, ACC, and beyond.
Oh, you saw that coming, Rampant.
The biggest games play right here.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppable, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts and Deli. Call 763-1627.
Is your restaurant looking a little tired from the long off season? Is your office a little offish? Start the new year off right by giving them a fresh start. Fresh Start Cleaning is now accepting new clients. Ask about their complimentary hood cleaning services. Fresh Start Cleaning. Get clean again with Fresh Start. Call 850-771-6917, 771-6917, and ask about their complimentary hood cleaning services.
What does it take to live an uncommon life? Here's former Super Bowl winning coach Tony Dungy with today's uncommon moment.
As followers of Christ, we should maintain self-control and discipline, especially when it comes to taking care of our bodies. Getting in shape and making a commitment to stay that way honors God. But that mindset is not only important for our physical bodies, it also applies to the training we do and the commitment we make to ourselves and to God. We commit to learn more about Him and about how we can be better disciples. It takes resolve and repetition, consistently working at it for maximum results. Real success in achieving goals comes when we know we can't do it by ourselves and look to the Lord for strength.
New York Times best-selling author Tony Dungy. More at CoachDungy.com. That's CoachDungy.com.
We're starting fresh.
Fresh new start.
Locally sourced, Farm to Radio. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is live and local. From the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. On ESPN Northwest Florida.
Rumba. You guys listen to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, we are your home for the Auburn Tigers, who dropped their first SEC loss. Their second loss of the season. They lost to Duke on the road earlier this year, but the mighty Florida Gators came into Neville Arena and did something that many other teams have not been able to do, despite another double-double there by Janai Broome, and they just didn't have a great game on the glass. And Florida just played right into and Florida's got a great Florida, Auburn, and Tennessee have three great defenses. Alabama I haven't really watched closely yet this season, but obviously we'll find out this upcoming weekend. But is that this weekend? No,
I think it's the weekday game. I think their final game of the season is.
They play them twice.
Play Wednesday night. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The final game of the season is March 8th, and they will be playing each other then. Alabama and Auburn will be. That is going to be. No, Auburn and Vanderbilt is their weekday game, so they're playing the 15th.
Yep, at Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, it'll be at Coleman.
It's going to be a fun one. Got two of them to go the rest of the season.
We got three big games on here on ESPN Northwest Florida this Saturday as we now transition into college basketball.
Yes.
A little bit more Orlando Magic games. Then, we're 2 days away from pitchers and catchers reporting.
Just like that, we'll be getting baseball going here pretty darn soon. And
Jay, you need to be here. I got a lot of clock work to do.
I know. Well, hopefully he'll return to the forefront here soon. But as David just mentioned, we are your home for the Atlanta Braves, and there's only 162 of them, so I don't know what that's so hard to program. Only 162. But yes, Auburn fell. I don't know if they'll fall out of that number one spot or not. The reason is because the Duke Blue Devils also dropped a game. The number 2 team in the country, Clemson, ended up beating them 77-71. Clemson now improves to 11-2 in the ACC, 19-5 overall. Duke 12-1 in the ACC. So big upset there. Alabama continued their winning ways. They took on Arkansas on the road and won that one 85-81. Tennessee, using that fantastic defense, just shut down Oklahoma on the road. I think at one point in that game they had hit 8 straight three-pointers, which I don't care who you're playing. If you do that, the other team's going to be in a world of hurt. But they ended up finishing that game after a 20-point lead in the first half, 70-52. The Houston Cougars took down the Buffs. Houston's number 5 team beat Colorado 69-59. They improved to 11-1 in the Big 12. Colorado, unfortunately, has not seen the same success on the basketball court as they've seen on the football field, as they are 0-12 in the Big 12 conference in basketball. Iowa State, the Cyclones, looking pretty good, took down TCU 82-52, little 30-point victory there. As Tom Izzo is now tied with Bob Knight for the most wins in the Big Ten Conference after they got down 50-36 at halftime, but they made some adjustments, came roaring back in the second half, and number 9 Michigan State beat Oregon 86-74. That would have been a good one to take the money line at halftime when they were down 50-36.
Did you get any ants in your pants when the Chiefs last night were down like 17? Like, oh, what's that money line looking like? I didn't make any Super Bowl bets.
I only did some props. I didn't, because I didn't want to be tempted, and then but you could just see, especially early in that game, that the Eagles were just dominating on the line, and I was a little surprised that you mentioned that we didn't see more adjustments from the Chiefs in the second half,
especially with all the praise that we give their coaching staff.
I mean, we give Andy Reid so much credit, and so does Patrick Mahomes, and a lot of people say, if Patrick Mahomes didn't have Andy Reid, he probably wouldn't be as good of a player as he is. And then of course Spags just couldn't seem to, even when they were blitzing, the Philadelphia seemed to have an answer.
And a lot of the time, Spags' defense, they get a little, a nice jump off the corner blitzes.
Yeah.
And especially with mobile quarterbacks, they tend to run outside, and Jalen Hurts was ready. You're blitzing from the outside, I'm running up the middle. Oh, God forbid you're in man defense, and I see guys' backs, then, I'm getting more yards than what you're ready for.
Yep, that's absolutely true. As soon as you see those backs turn to you, you can just take off, and you've got a lot of space, and that's how you get first down. That's what, it's that's why sometimes, playing man coverage against mobile quarterbacks isn't the best thing in the world. But anyway, I know Nick Sirianni wants to make sure Kellen Moore stays the OC with the Philadelphia Eagles, and I know that I believe that's the number one target right now for the New Orleans Saints, is trying to get Kellen Moore over there.
It would be so dumb of him to take that job, all right? So the Eagles are in fine position right now.
They're in great position to make a run the next couple of years.
Exactly. I mean, especially with the addition of Saquon Barkley. Who knows what they're going to do in the offseason to become even better. I mean, the defense is lights out. None of those guys are barely even 25 years old. I think that's what Jalen Carter was talking about after the game, which we spent more time after the game last night watching the streets of Philadelphia.
Oh, I'm sure.
Was, when you had the Lucid Streams TV, you can watch local sports networks. So we were watching the Philadelphia sports networks, or not, news networks rather, and they were having themselves a ball, man. Broad Street, which is like the epicenter for. Oh my gosh,
they used to call the Flyers the Broad Street Bullies.
Yeah, they were having a time last night.
They climbing lamp poles and all that good stuff.
They were trying to. The police were trying to keep them off of them, but they weren't at every single. Well, there was someone who died 2 weeks ago from Temple University who climbed it and fell off of one. That was caught on camera.
Not good.
And but they were on top of like newsstands and bus stops, and it wasn't as bad. Majority of the people were just out there having a good time.
Yeah, there you go. But all it takes.
I don't think anything caught on fire, but they were doing fireworks, and I think there were a couple of fires started.
Gotcha.
They were climbing on police cars for a second. But the police jumps in real quick and stopped that one.
Like, hey, guys, other cars, not ours. Just get in trouble for doing damage. But, obviously, yes, Coach Moon, when you can sack a quarterback 6 times, have about a dozen hurries, you'll never blitz one time. You do it with just your 400-pound lineman. The other team is in a world of hurt. No doubt about that. If you can get pressure and still be able to have all those guys on the backside ready, it's a wonderful combination. And Philly kind of showed and followed that Buccaneers formula of Patrick Mahomes, although he did try to, save that team when he is pressured and knocked on his butt. I mean, you can't throw it when you're being sacked that many times. So, but again, still a little surprised they didn't lean on the run game a little bit more.
A lot bit more.
Yeah, just to keep everybody off balance. And, Philly's run defense is spectacular, but at the same time, you're Andy Reid. Where's your crazy playbook that we didn't see anything from that of the Chiefs?
It's easier to do the crazy things whenever the game is, even if you're only down by 10 or so, but then once you're down 3 possessions, and then that's including needing 2-point conversions. At that point in time, you just have to try to get whatever you can get, and whatever they could get was Xavier Worthy, and that's about it, because you look at the rest of the statistics, Travis Kelce, pedestrian night last night. Xavier Worthy was the only one who had a decent night.
Yeah, 157
And a lot of that was in garbage time as well.
Yeah, it was. 19.6 per reception, 157 yards, and 2 touchdowns. All 8 of his targets were caught in. But like you said, Travis Kelce only had 6 total targets, no touchdowns, and 4 catches for 39 yards. The mid-season acquisition, DeAndre Hopkins, had 5 targets for only 2 receptions and 18 total yards. He did add a touchdown in there. And then, of course, Juju Smith-Schuster had 2 for 16, and Hollywood Brown kind of a non-factor there with 2 receptions for 15 yards. Yeah, Kareem Hunt, they only had, between their 3 running backs besides Patrick Mahomes, Kareem Hunt, Samaje Perine, and Isaiah Pacheco, they only had 7 total rushing attempts for 9, 8, that's 17 plus 7 is 24 yards. Wild stuff there. But hey, balanced offense seems to be the key to winning. But anyway, moving back to the college basketball world, we had a couple other, Tennessee locked down Oklahoma 70-52. Houston beat Colorado 69-59. I already mentioned, I got to Michigan State. Another top 15 matchup in the SEC was Texas A&M at Missouri. A really great game when Wade Taylor IV hit a go-ahead 3 to win it for the Aggies in the final second. Final score in that one, 67-64. Also had another top 25 upset. The Creighton Blue Jays, I believe that's what they are,
yes, sir.
took down the Marquette
Golden Eagles.
77-67. Marquette was number 11 at the time. You also had number 20 Arizona beat number 13th ranked Texas A&M 82-73. Kentucky got back in the winning side of things with an 80-57 victory over South Carolina. Obviously, they lost the previous week to Arkansas in Calipari's return to Rupp. Had number 16 Kansas, who's having a little bit of a tough year compared to normal. They lost to their rival K-State in Manhattan there, 81-73. Kansas is now 16-7, 7-5 in the Big 12. Number 21 Wisconsin beat Iowa 74-63. Mississippi State with a 1-point victory over the Georgia Bulldogs to improve to 5-5 in the SEC, a 76-75 victory. Illinois beat Minnesota 95-74. The Michigan Wolverines beat the Indiana Hoosiers to improve to 10-2 in the conference, 18-5 overall with a 70-67 victory. And then last but not least, in the top 25 from this past weekend, from past Saturday, I should say, Ole Miss, number 25, Ole Miss beat LSU on the road by 2 with a buzzer beater by Davis. And it was a big comeback in that game. And Ole Miss continues to find ways to win games. Talking about the SEC rankings, Auburn and Alabama. Here we go, folks. Coming up this weekend at Coleman Coliseum, the 9-1 Auburn Tigers will take on the 9. It could be 10-1. Does Alabama have a midweek game? I know sometimes they don't. I mean, I
think that you get like 1 week throughout the year where you don't play. Once you get
was a couple weeks ago,
right?
Let's see.
I think Alabama's was the same week.
Now they play Texas tomorrow.
Yeah.
At Texas, and then they play Auburn on Saturday.
Well, there you go.
So, not quite.
That's going to be Texas, still, the SEC, I feel like pretty much every squad in the SEC could be in. Well, we've seen it with Vanderbilt over Kentucky. We've seen it with, now Florida over Auburn, Tennessee over Florida. It's just, it's a dog-eat-dog-eat world, and we got a lot of dogs in the SEC.
It makes for great basketball games, no doubt about it. But, Texas Longhorns 4-7, so Alabama will be taking them on Tuesday night. And as we already mentioned, Auburn will be taking on Vanderbilt. If both teams get a victory there, they will both be 10-1 heading into the first of 2 pivotal matchups for that SEC regular season title. The Florida Gators and Texas A&M Aggies are both 2 games back with 7-3 records in the conference. The Tennessee Volunteers and Ole Miss Rebels 2.5 games back with 7-4 records. So still a long way to go in the SEC, but we're ever getting closer to the March Madness that we all know and love, as the conference championships usually played in that second week in March following the end of the regular season, and we'll continue on from there. But some of your basketball action from this past weekend. We got to go ahead and take a quick break. When we get back, we'll dive into some afternoon delight debriefs right here on the Inside Drive.
It's the ESPN Northwest Florida Hall and Arts Magic Express.
Hey, Jason.
Yeah.
Dude, are you ready to go on the ultimate road trip to see the Orlando Magic?
Well, hell yeah.
You won the Hall and Arts Magic Express, dude. You're going.
Hell yeah. Let's do it.
Sponsored by PCB Hobby, Panama City Toyota, Hall and Arts, and Fairfield Hampton Inn on Thomas, and Home 2 Suites. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Man, that's awesome. That's fantastic.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Monday. For this afternoon and evening, some sun and a high of 73 with a light breeze at 7 miles per hour out of the southwest. Tonight, mostly clouds with lows around 62. Tomorrow, slightly foggy in the morning followed by some clouds and a temperature near 71. Moving into Wednesday, about the same with a high of 74 and partly cloudy. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts and Deli. Call 763-1627.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Naaman, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hi folks, I'm Tracy from Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Love is in the air at Tracy's Fine Jewelry, and what better way to celebrate love than with a beautiful piece of jewelry? Our Valentine collection combines the most popular trends and top sellers with the largest selection at the best prices. From exquisite fine jewelry to our most trendy and affordable sterling silver pieces, we're sure to have the perfect gift to melt her heart. Folks have trusted us for 50 years to make their Valentine sparkle. This year, make it sparkle even more with a gift from Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
Coming in hot.
So hot. It'll be a hot one. Really hot. Goddamn.
The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 104.3 in Panama City and Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. All you got to do is search up ESPN Northwest Florida. You can watch and listen live every day or go back and do it after the fact, whatever tickles your fancy. And if you already follow and subscribe and comment and all those wonderful things, we appreciate it very much. It just takes 2 seconds to click that little share button. You don't even have to put a caption. We appreciate you helping spread the word. You can also download our free mobile app right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. You just go to your Google Play or Apple Store and search 104.3. It'll pop up right there for you. You can take it anywhere it goes. Also, we've got some wonderful sponsorship opportunities on that ad as well. If anybody is interested in advertising with the Best of Bay winning Inside Drive, you know how to find me. There's lots of places you can certainly find me, but appreciate everybody out there that is tuned in and listening. And then, of course, you got to thank our studio sponsor. That's Bill Kramer GM and Kramer Marine and Outdoor. It went from not being good weather to be out there on the water to being spectacular weather to being out there on the water, although the tide fluctuation this time of year is a little bit bigger. So, you got to be careful in some areas. But if you've got a boat that needs fixing or you need to have your annual service done, just give Bill Kramer or Kramer Marine and Outdoor a call, and they'll either come to you or you can bring your boat into the dealership. And, of course, they sell new and used boats, the family of CRI, that is Spider, Sundance, Seaborn, and Skeeter. You can check out all that new and used inventory at KramerMarineandOutdoor.com. And then, of course, you've got Bill Kramer GM. We swung by there this morning, returning our little loaner car. His best German car has gotten a part back from Germany. The shift module is now been fixed. And we've had a little bit of a run here with our cars the last couple of weeks, but hey, we're back out there on the road. And if you need to get back out there on the road, sometimes it's the water, sometimes it's the road. That's Bill Kramer GM. Not only are they selling beautiful new and used vehicles, but they also have regular service and express service, not just for GM vehicles. You need an oil change? Swing by Bill Kramer GM. You need a set of tires at cost? Swing by Bill Kramer GM right there at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd Street. David, I meant to ask you at the start of the show, as you sent me a little video yesterday, how was Wrestling Against Cancer 10?
Oh, my goodness. It was a great time. Diamond Dallas Page was there. Got there about 10 minutes late or so, but it was still a great time. The line to get in was so long.
That's awesome.
The gym was absolutely packed, over 600 people there. And great matches from the talent as well. It was a great time, put a huge smile on my cousin's face. And, Yeah, just it was great. I had some family come in town as well to watch Ryan, or to be there with Ryan for this event, and it was phenomenal, man. Jack Patterson, Waylon Barley, they just did a great job. All of the wrestlers did a phenomenal job in promoting the show and getting it ready. All the announcers did a wonderful job announcing the shows, and I think that the crowd was into it, man. I got to say that the best match of the night was Calumet versus Preston Veston for the Wrestling Against Cancer Championship belt, but it was a ton of great stuff, and I think a time that was enjoyed by all.
That is awesome. Even saw a little clip of you getting there in the ring, showing off your moves.
Yeah, never had been in the ring to that capacity. I've thrown my cousin through a table before, but all that consisted of was just walking them out to the ring and then getting into the ring and then standing over there by the turnbuckle and helping them, throw them in. But yeah, got a little action.
Got a little taste.
Yeah, got thrown in over the top ropes, and that was my first bump, and then hit a little. I was calling it a diamond cutter, but a lot of people would call it a RKO or a Stone Cold Stunner. At that point, hit that on Calumet because he was running his mouth for a long time. So, he got me, I got him. So it was kind of all even in that aspect. The best part of that match was the crowd was 50-50. Half of them were going for Calumet, half of them were going for Preston Veston. It was a great time, and they did a great job. And Calumet's still holding on to the Wrestling Against Cancer belt, but we'll see if we can change that next year.
Yeah, there you go. But all for a wonderful cause.
Exactly. That's what it was all about, and that's what it came down to. And it was that. And shout out to Skip Bonder and Top Rope Tony for donating the ring. It was a great experience.
Awesome, great stuff. And that's just what's so wonderful here about Bay County and beyond. Is when people are in need, everybody always seems to come together.
You even had Rogue, Deadpool, and Captain America there taking pictures.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a great time. And listen, if you haven't been to one of these, we've got great wrestling events in town, but once a year there's Wrestling Against Cancer, and I believe that one stands out because you get a lot of the wrestlers from all of these different promotions coming together for one purpose.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we had Saturday evening, and man, it was a great time.
Yeah, no doubt there. Good stuff. Well done by all. And, we'll stay tuned for next year's event as well. As fast as time goes, it'll be here before we know it. All right, I'm going to jump into a couple Afternoon Delight debriefs. This first one's kind of a good story. You remember Lulu Gribben? She was the one that got attacked by the shark over there in Destin and lost her arm. And
didn't know her name, but yes, I know what story you're talking
about. So she came through in the clutch for former Bama golfer and current PGA star Justin Thomas. Last Wednesday, Justin faced a 3-putt putt for birdie at the Pro-Am for the Waste Management Phoenix Open, or Waste Management Open out there in Phoenix. Lulu grabbed a putter with one hand and sank the birdie putt. The 16-year-old from Mountain Brook, Alabama, has been working on her golf game for 8 weeks after she lost her left hand and right leg in a shark attack. If you follow her on social media, she's developed quite the one-handed or one-armed and one-legged golf swing, and has been kind of playing golf as therapy, which has been pretty cool. But good on Justin Thomas to bring her out there to the Pro-Am. For those that don't know, most professional events, whether it's the Korn Ferry Tour, the PGA Tour, even some of the lower, they all have Pro-Ams where it's a way to raise money for whatever cause or whatever it may be. And PGA Tour event Pro-Ams are awesome and always fun to be a part of. So kudos to Justin Thomas for bringing Lulu in and letting her drop a putt there on the Waste Management Phoenix Open. So I thought that was cool. Wanted to mention that to everybody.
Yeah, that's great stuff for sure.
Also, here's another one. I've got, I'm assuming it's true, Suloswada. It's a Polish village where 6,000 people share the same road. In the heart of Poland, a few kilometers from Krakow, there is a village that looks like it came out of a rural painting. Suloswada. If I'm pronouncing that correctly, I'm probably not. It's all of its 6,000 inhabitants live along a single main road, a detail that makes this locality unique and fascinating. As seen from above, the village offers an extraordinary spectacle. A long, perfectly linear linear central artery flanked by neatly arranged houses like pearls strung on a single thread. It's pretty wild. And obviously you guys can't see the picture, but you could certainly search it up and see it. But it's just a straight shot of houses with tons of fields and backyards in their graphs. So very neat. Thought that was kind of cool. But we got somebody on the line. Who do we got? Who's out there?
Go Blue Trucks, you guys are around places back to know. What's up, fellas, on this Super Bowl Monday? Is Dan there with you?
No, he's teaching golf again. It's like
I just want to tell him thanks. Kenley had her PR yesterday in Navarre this weekend.
Ooh, nice.
So had PR, came in second and all that. Started off this season on the right foot, so it's good. So
that's awesome.
Anyway, and she had like four lessons with Jared last week and a half to get her pumped up and ready to go. And plus, we got the junior membership at Bay Point. Your place there, bro. So thank you. So,
good to hear that she played so well. And, that's kind of what he's doing out there right now is he's taking advantage of, it's not normally this nice this time of year. So his lessons are, he's trying to get it while the getting's good, which I totally understand that. But, Michigan Eddie, what were your thoughts on the dismantling of the Chiefs last night?
Can I go on something else first?
Of course.
I'm going to go on a rant here. And I was talking to my buddy at the D-line, the Detroit line, and I think it's an absolute farce that MCDC didn't get Coach of the Year, where he dismantled the Vikings, this year. We won the NFC North. We beat them twice. The last game was a total demolish at Ford Field to take the title. And Kevin O'Connell gets Coach of the Year over MCDC. With what MCDC went through, when our whole basically defense was in the intensive care unit at Henry Ford Hospital back in Detroit and all that, and what he had to go through, the injuries. Come on, man. Really? He didn't have to go through that. O'Connell didn't have to go through what MCDC did. Dude, MCDC got the Lifetime Achievement Award what he's done with the Lions. So did Brad Holmes, Sheila Hemp. Oh, my gosh, man. I tell you. I'm an Air Force guy, right?
Yes.
I'll tell you. The secretary of the line, secretary of the Air Force, is Sheila Hemp, baby. You know what I'm saying? She's top on now. And then you got the wing commander. The wing commander is General Brad Holmes, bro.
There you go.
Unbelievable, just awesome. And then our battlefield, our airspace commander, our squadron commander, the guy in the trenches with the wingmen. You know who that is? That is Dan Campbell, bro. With the guys. With the fellas. They want to play for him. Detroit's a destination. Don't be surprised if we get Myles Garrett. But that is a farce. These awards are a crock of crap, bro.
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed. I had a nice future on Lamar, and Josh got it. I just thought Lamar was going to get it because of the stats. And I get people saying there's voter fatigue and stuff like that, but should that influence, who we think the best player in the league is?
The best player or the best coach should get it, bar none. And what MCDC has done with the Lions is unbelievable. I have not seen it in my 49 years of life on this earth, man. It is terrible. And all my peeps on the Detroit line and all that, baby. I'm right. Come on, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. Kevin O'Connell, obviously, you had on the offense. Okay, I get the defensive argument 100%. They were ever since Aiden Hutchinson went out, and they just kept getting more and more injuries. But on the offensive side of the ball, obviously you guys have a lot of weapons, and I think Jared Goff is a significantly better quarterback than Sam Darnold. So I think the Sam Darnold-led Kevin O'Connell Minnesota Vikings maybe persuaded the voters a little bit. I don't know. I think it could have went to either. Hell, you could have gave it to Nick Sirianni too, with what he did with the Philadelphia Eagles this year.
Yeah, dude, they're all worthy candidates.
Of course,
right?
Of course,
they're all worthy.
That's
I'm not saying that, but dude, what MCDC went through this year is by far the job he did with 15-2. NFC North champions. Granted, it was Murphy's Law when we lost to the Redskins. It was just a bad game. Everything that could go wrong. Kind of like what happened to the Chiefs yesterday.
Yeah.
Turnovers and all. Basically dude, if I was a Chiefs fan, I feel your pain because that's what happened to the Lions. Against the Redskins. You know what I mean? And for Philly to do what they did yesterday, how much crap did they go through from all the media? Trying to build a drama with A.J. Brown, drama in the locker room and all. And then what they do, they go and win the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And what's the saying? What's the saying they said yesterday? You can't be great without the greatness of others. That's totally true. I love that saying.
Yep.
I mean, that is totally true. And they bought in, and that's the thing. I mean, you got to have, like, just the four walls, man. Keep everything outside. You know what I mean? Because the media is detracted, and they want stories, and usually the negative sells more hype. You know what I'm saying?
No, of
My
course.
buddy in radio, Mark Ryan, back on 97 on the ticket back in Detroit, he got to start down here. He said it. He goes, negativity is what drives ratings. I'm like, why are you always negative, Mark? When he used to be at Fort Walton, right?
Yeah.
He's like, well, my boss says negativity drives the ratings. I'm like, all right. I mean, that's
I'm
not
too
right.
positive
We
to be
need some positivity.
That's right.
And I'll tell you, Detroit's going to be back, man. Can you believe the Chiefs are already the betting favorites for next year? Heck no.
Are they? They're not.
Yes.
The Eagles are.
I saw last night, it was the Chiefs, and then it was like a three-way tie, and then and I think the Lions were fifth.
Now, Eagles are, according to DraftKings Sportsbook anyway, Eagles are plus 550. The Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens are all plus 700, and the Lions are plus 900.
See, the one I saw was ESPN Bet or something last night or something. And of course, they're going to whatever. The Chiefs, you know.
We can't use any of those anyway. We just got to stick with our Hard Rock fellas, down there on the reservation. The only other thing I can think of is Detroit was expected to be good this year. I don't think anybody expected Minnesota to be good. So I think there's some weight there, too, when it came to that Coach of the Year voting.
That's a true statement. But did anybody expect our whole defensive line, our whole defense, to be at Henry Ford or St. John's Hospital, where I was born at, by the way, in Ross, in Detroit, by the way, in the ER, in the ICU, on life support? And what Aaron Glenn and MCDC did with that team and that defense, keep that ship rocking and rolling on Lake St. Clair and on the Detroit River. Gordie Howe International Bridge, by the way, is getting done, by the way, just saying.
Thanks for all the Detroit updates.
They have two bridges over the river now. Gordie Howe is getting done, and then you have the Ambassador Bridge. Anyway, I mean, it's beyond remarkable, man. Beyond remarkable.
No doubt.
I mean, and I'm just saying, let's be fair here. It's like, and he didn't get it last year. How in the heck did he not get it last year? He's up 2 years in a row, not 1, 2. And that's a crock of crap.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Can we talk about your Niners real quick?
Yes.
I was just on Pat McAfee.
As long as you're nice.
Show. Yeah, I was just on Pat McAfee. Well, I wasn't on Pat. I was listening to it.
You on Pat McAfee would be epic. If we can have a contingency down here to make that happen, we need to make that happen.
I'll be on there anytime. But I guess they're amicably parting ways, Debo and the Niners.
Yes, they've agreed to allow him to be traded.
Yeah.
Which I'm actually completely fine with it. He had one good year before defensive coordinators knew how to handle him. He's been injured the whole time. He's requested a trade twice now, and then you got guys like George Kittle on the team. They're like, I want to be a Niner for life. So you know what? When Brandon Ayuk comes back from his ACL tear, Juwan Jennings has got another year on his contract. Who knows? Devontae Adams might take the place of Debo Samuel, and I'd rather have some more receiving threats than a quote unquote another running back that catches balls every once in a while.
Devontae's not going to the Niners. Know where he's going along with Rodgers?
Las Vegas.
Yep.
Going back home. That'd be ridiculous.
That'd be nuts, wouldn't it? I just thought about he just left it. I was going to go back with his buddy. But him and Aaron are best buds, man.
Yep.
On and off the field, man. I mean, the relationship they have is, like, people make fun of Rodgers and stuff like that, but he speaks his mind. He's the truth. And you know what?
Did you watch that Aaron Rodgers documentary?
No, I probably did, though.
It was actually really good. It kind of changed my opinion of him for sure.
I've always kind of liked, even though he played for the Packers, but I think after the virus and all that, the way he stuck to his guns and all that, it took a lot of flack. I kind of, so anyway. Yeah. But we've been watching it. I've been watching The Man of the Arena with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
That is awesome, bro.
That's a good one. Receiver's good. Quarterback's good. Man in the Arena. There's so many really, really good ones. But yeah. No, I mean, hey. Who got Daniel's got offensive. I don't even talk about the awards. I forgot about those. But
Jaden probably got offensive player of the year. You
offensive
got
rookie of the year. Yeah,
offensive rookie. Then Saquon got offensive player of the year, and coach of the year. We already went through that, which is a crock of crap. I mean, it's just bull, man. I mean, come on, dude. You know, granted, the way we ended the season, dude, Murphy's Law on the worst day to have it, like, we're driving back from MD Anderson, bro. I'm in my Eddie Murphy Beverly Hills Cop jacket, you know, Detroit Lions jacket that Eddie Murphy wore, Axel Foley wore.
Yeah.
And I got that for me for Christmas. I'm in my chain, dancing or golf. Everyone, Eddie was so upset, bro. He said, I can't watch football the next day. I mean, on Sunday, he goes, I'm so ticked off, I can't watch it. So that's when we got back was Sunday.
Yeah.
You know? But it's our fault. We should have kept driving home. But Saturday night we stayed in Gulfport, Mississippi, and we got a room. And then they were doing fine until we stopped at the hotel, and then the wheels came off the tracks, bro. Wheels came off the tracks.
Yeah. So
anyway,
so it was your fault, is what you're saying.
It is. I'm blaming it. Oh, QB Vision's coming back down. Is Liam going? Just saying.
Oh yeah. He'll be there on the 19th, and then he'll be there at the next as well.
Yeah, we're going to see if Eddie's going to go. He's supposed to have a baseball tournament that same weekend, so we got to see what's going on with that.
I've said it like 1,000 times, but we're dipping our toes in some pylon 7-on-7 coming up here in a few weeks too. So we'll see how our boys hang with all these teams coming from all over the place down here to Panama City Beach. But should be fun.
Where's it at? Public?
Yeah, right there at the sports park. So couldn't pass up this opportunity to at least see how we hang in there.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta. To be the best, you got to play the best, right?
That's it.
And you gotta go out of this area to do that. That's why we take Eddie, you know, to other parts of the country to see how different players play from different parts of the country and stuff like that. Because you can't just stay here. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because you gotta go out there and see how other players play throughout the country. Like iron sharpens iron, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
it.
I mean, you
Especially
got to do what you got to do.
for sure.
So give me a call. Let's chat up. I got something to tell you offline, man. So anyway, but it was nice talking to you guys. I just had to go on my rant about MCDC. That's a crock of bull crap, man. If this wasn't a family show, I'd be going off right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, we don't need the FCC barking down our phones.
No, I'm not worried about the FCC. I'm worried about Randy coming down on me. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah, well, it's kind of hand in hand because he's worried about the commission coming down if there's potty words. But hey,
did you see in Noah Khan brought us $350 billion or whatever? How much that yacht is? Golly, you see that?
Yeah, parked there right on the river, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, it's a different level of class and I'm talking about economic class with the Super Bowl.
We're just minions, bro.
Yeah,
we're just minions.
That's it. We're just down here talking about sports every once in a while. That's about it.
And that's what it ticks me off about the Lions Summit Super Bowl. Like, we're down here, bro. We would have taken the family over there, at least to enjoy the tailgates and the parties, you know, over there.
I don't know. I saw some pictures of Bourbon Street, and it looked, if you're claustrophobic at all, it looked like you wanted to stay completely away from that.
No, I'll just go by the Dome tailgates. That's when we went to the Sugar Bowl and saw Michigan, Virginia Tech when Eddie was a baby. We went to that game, and that was when Brady Hoke was our coach when we won. Denard Robinson was our quarterback and all that. You know.
He was on the cover of the NCAA college football, whatever year that was.
Yeah, I mean, and that was like the week before it was Alabama, LSU, and those fan bases invaded our week. Bunch of morons. Just saying obnoxious morons. Just talking about Philly fans being obnoxious. Just take a look at Bama or LSU fans. Just saying. Anyway, but we went down there and they had nice fan fest by the Caesar Superdome and all that. But then it was the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, whatever, you know. But it was very, very nice. We stayed at the Hyatt. You know, Charles Woodson's dad was staying there. Didn't know that till after the fact, you know. And a lot of Michigan, because the team hotel was Marriott on Canal Street, I think. The Marriott on Canal. But we stayed at the Hyatt, walking distance to the Dome and all that. It was awesome, man. It was awesome. Lower bowl seats because no one really wanted to see Michigan play Virginia Tech. So we got lower bowl for like $15, $20
Jeez.
You know, and then we won that game, and it was awesome, man. It was awesome.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Michigan Eddie, leave us with the creed before we go ahead and take a quick break here.
Goldberg Truck Series, hey, in MCDC we trust, man. Detroit Rock City, 8 Mile, 11 Mile. I'm out. See ya.
There you go. Let's get a recount there and get Michigan Eddie happy there with the Coach of the Year award. But you guys listen to the Inside Drive. Good to hear from Michigan Eddie. Obviously, thoughts and prayers with him all the time as he is battling as well. But if you talk about positivity, he's one of the most positive people I know, except when his Detroit Lions don't get the awards that he thinks they deserve. But you guys listen to the Inside Drive. We'll be right back talking a little bit about those NFL awards that all got awarded this past weekend. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida is taking it to the home. Your home for the most live college basketball in the Gulf Coast. The ACC, SEC, and the biggest games in the country. Plus the official station of March Madness.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.
Hear every slam dunk in ultra-high fidelity right here.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Monday. A mixture of light sprinkles and some sun the remainder of the day with a wind at 7 miles per hour coming out of the southwest and 72. Tonight, look for some fog causing poor visibility with a temperature near 62. Tomorrow, high around 71 and slight fog in the morning, but otherwise some clouds. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Introducing Lucid Stream TV. Get over 2,000 live streaming channels. Catch every game of the season with over 100 sports networks, including ESPN, ESPN Plus, the NFL Network, and Red Zone. Even pay-per-view events. Watch local network channels from most major markets throughout the country. Fox, ABC, CBS, and NBC. It's more than sports. Lucid Stream TV offers premium movie channels like HBO, Cinemax, Stars, 200-plus entertainment and news networks, or watch 10,000 movies on demand, including recent theater releases. Just $42 a month when you use the promo code ESPNNW at checkout. Watch on up to 5 devices at the same time. Perfect for sharing with family and friends. Lucid Stream TV gives you everything you want for less. Cut the cord, not the fun. To score Lucid Stream TV, go to ESPNPC.com and click on the Lucid Stream TV logo.
From the beach to the bay to the backyard, it's the Inside Drive from the Bill Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studio.
I've got sand in my underpants.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. As you know, we are your home for select Orlando Magic games. And 2 of those select games are coming up this week. Lots of basketball action, college and professional, right here on ESPN Northwest Florida as the football season has officially come to an end. Tonight, right after the afternoon underdogs, we'll take you to tip-off 6 p.m. That is the Atlanta Hawks at the Orlando Magic. And then coming up on Wednesday, the 12th, tip-off again right at 6 p.m. after the afternoon underdogs. Charlotte Hornets traveling over there to the Kia Center in Orlando to take on your Magic. So tune in should you want to hear some select Orlando Magic games. And of course, all your Auburn Tiger basketball games as well. All right, Michigan Eddie brought it up. Obviously, he is extremely disappointed with the Coach of the Year award. So we're going to dive right through these awards as well, as I believe that all transpired on the 6th, Thursday night at the NFL's Honors Award there at the Sanger Theater. And first we'll start with the MVP. As I mentioned, I wanted Lamar to win just selfishly because that's who I bet on. But at the time, Josh Allen was a negative, so it played out at a negative odds. He was like minus 250 or something like that. So obviously, Vegas knew that this award was likely going to him in winning his first ever MVP award, becoming the 3rd player to receive it despite not being named a first-team All-Pro since the first award was given back in 1957. Obviously, Allen played a critical role in the Bills winning 13 games and advancing to the AFC Championship game. The 7th-year quarterback made it a priority to turn over the ball less, especially with the addition of James Cook, finishing with a career-low 6 interceptions and only 2 fumbles, with the only turnovers that's the only turnovers that the Bills' offense had. He still played his signature style, rushing for 12 touchdowns and throwing for 28. He led the offense that tied an NFL record with 13 players catching touchdown passes. He's extended his own NFL record for consecutive seasons with 40 passing and rushing touchdowns total between the two to 5. Eliana Getzenberg said Josh Allen's leadership, his consistent leadership, was the biggest reason why we did what we did this season, Coach Sean McDermott said. So anybody that tries to say otherwise, I know better. I've seen it. All right. As Michigan Eddie said, the NFL's Coach of the Year for the 24-25 season went to Minnesota Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell. The Vikings entered 2024 with a projected 6.5 winning total there, and obviously they knocked that one out of the park with their ending up being 14-12-4 or something like that.
For who?
The Vikings.
They were 14-3, I believe.
14-3. That's right. 17. That didn't add up. Obviously, lowered expectations were largely because of O'Connell and the rest of the team's decision makers had launched a quarterback transition from Kirk Cousins to Sam Darnold. And then, of course, J.J. McCarthy had a season-ending knee injury there in the preseason. O'Connell encourages players.
O'Connell does not win Coach of the Year with McCarthy at quarterback.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. What do you think about Michigan Eddie's argument? You think it's valid?
No, I don't, because of I think what you said goes into it.
Expectations.
Yeah, 100%. When you're in the NFC Championship last year, if you go from what they go 13-4 last year or whatever, they might have even taken a step back. Because they were hosting the Niners, right, in the NFC Championship?
No. Niners were the number 1 seed. Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's right. But anyways, even if you're taking a small step forward, no one was expecting what they did out of the Vikings. Who was Coach of the Year last year? Was it Danny? MCDC, as he's calling him?
MCDC.
Yeah.
Let's see. NFL Coach of the Year.
2023. Yeah. For me, anyways, yes, I don't think that there was really a question for it to be O'Connell this year.
Stefanski from the Browns.
Oh, it was Stefanski. That's right. Which again, that's another one where not just that, but expectations and the reality of look.
Quarterback.
Yeah, you're going through quarterback after quarterback, and that would be the thing. Let's say that the Lions lose Jared Goff in week 5 or 6, and then they don't have Hendon Hooker at the time, but who would have or not Hendon Hooker? Teddy Two Gloves, Hendon Hooker is the backup. So, and then he steps in, and then they still finish at that same rate. Then I think you have a realistic opportunity to win Coach of the Year. Not that it doesn't matter. It's a huge. There's a big reason why the Lions didn't make it as deep as they did in the playoffs. And that's primarily because of Aiden Hutchinson being out. Their next best pass rusher was out as well. I'm not taking away from the fact that that is an excuse that you can use if you're a Lions fan or if you're anyone else. But the expectations going into the season did not align with the Vikings having the season that they had. So just for that, and you can make the argument, just as he might have, that the Lions were 2-0 against the Coach of the Year. So wouldn't that give the edge to Dan Campbell? If you want to think that way, that's fine. But again, there's plenty of arguments to be made for Lamar Jackson to have won the MVP over Josh Allen, right? But Lamar Jackson was the quarterback for first All-Pro team.
Yeah.
And that's I believe one of the first times, if not maybe the second time, that the guy that the MVP is not on the first All-Pro team.
Yeah, I think it was the third because yes, becoming the third player to receive it despite not being named first team All-Pro since the award was first given in 1957.
So very little opportunity there, but nonetheless, I would still have went with Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think simply, like you said, expectations. They weren't expected to do what they did. He persevered. Obviously, Sam Darnold, he did a fantastic job with Sam. And there's always going to be an argument to both sides of the coin. But moving on to the defensive rookie of the year, the Florida State Seminole fans should be pretty happy.
Yes, sir.
As that went to Los Angeles Rams edge rusher Jared Verse. Verse was the Rams' first round pick since 2016, and the number 19 selection out of Florida State made it impact his rookie season for a defense that was playing almost without retired star Aaron Darnold, one of the best edge rushers to ever play the game. Verse had 4.5 sacks, 66 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. He was the Rams' lone Pro Bowl selection, something defensive coordinator Chris Shula said shows how much influence and impacts he has on the game. Verse ranked 4th in NFL quarterback pressures. His 76 pressures were 20 more than the next rookie on the list. Shula called Verse a true third down player and praised his growth from the start of the season through the Rams playoff run. He's an exciting guy that has great charisma, head coach Sean McVay said. He has a great toughness about him. I think he's continuing to use all those experiences as he matures and grows. He was one of 2 finalists for the Rams for Defensive Rookie of the Year, with defensive tackle Braden Fisk also being a nominee in that category. Comeback Player of the Year, Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow. I don't think there's probably any argument to this one, given the statistical.
I think I saw a few arguments out there, but no, there's no way I go any other direction.
I mean, obviously out last year, ruptured ligament in his throwing wrist. He was obviously kind of got back into the swing of things and ended up having the best season of his career, despite the Cincinnati Bengals not making the playoffs. He led the league in passing yards, passing touchdowns, and finished 3rd in total QBR. Burrow joins Chad Pennington as the only players to win the award twice, as it was reintroduced in 1998. Burrow won the honor back in 2021 by leading the Bengals to an AFC North title and a Super Bowl berth after suffering a season-ending knee injury in his rookie season. Just crazy stuff for Burrow, what he's been through in his short time in the NFL. And he continues to come back and obviously play at such a high level. Offensive Player of the Year, I don't think there was any doubt to this one. Usually goes to, the next best player besides the NBA. And a lot of times it is a running back, and that was Saquon Barkley, who won Offensive Player of the Year. I'm not going to go through all the details on his action, as a lot of people already know that, obviously. This is a regular season award, and he had a ton of rushing yards, 2,000. It's the 9th player in NFL history to rush for 2,000 yards, and ended up only 100 yards shy of Eric Dickerson's single-season rushing record.
And had he broke that, he probably wins the MVP.
Probably.
I think that's very impressive, so.
Yeah, no doubt. So obviously, there's more games now, but this, just like anything, every sport's got more stuff. It's more offensive, whatever. So still breaking the award. Defensive Player of the Year went to Patrick Surtain II. He is obviously a fantastic quarterback and has been for certain, or for pretty much most of his career in the NFL. He plays for the Denver Broncos. Whether it was simply the eye test or a swirl of analytics, take your pick. By any measure, Surtain was ridiculously good all season. He matched up against the who's who of receivers, and Jamar Chase's 3 interceptions for 27 yards on 43 routes against Surtain, and DK Metcalf's 3 catches for 29 yards on 24 routes were the best anyone did against those star wideouts.
He allowed like 300-something yards all year long.
Insane. And arguably, besides quarterback, one of the toughest positions to play, in my opinion, is cornerback, just because you are at such a disadvantage. It's hard. It's hard. But
absolutely.
According to NFL Next Gen Stats, surrendered the fewest receiving yards, as David said, 306 of anyone at the position, a minimum 375 coverage snaps, allowed the second lowest passer rating when targeted, and had the lowest expected points added per target at minus 0.43. He tied his career high in interceptions and led the league in interception return yards at 132. As defensive coordinator Vance Joseph said, Pat is at the center of everything we do. He gives us a chance a lot of defenses don't have. We can dictate some of the things by just where we line him up. Offensive Rookie of the Year, as everybody probably already knows, went to Washington Commanders quarterback Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels set one record after another during his first NFL season. He became only the 6th rookie quarterback to lead his team to a conference championship game. The previous 5 all played with defenses ranked in the top 3. Washington's was ranked 18th. which obviously showed up in that NFC Championship game. He rushed for more than 891. He rushed for more yards, 891 total, than any other rookie quarterback in history. And combine that with 3,568 passing yards. He was the NFL's fourth-ranked passer in total QBR and threw for 25 touchdowns, 15 of those touchdowns coming in his last 5 full games, with only 9 picks. And then, of course, he added 6 rushing touchdowns as well. He led 5 game-winning drives, including the one in the playoffs. 3 ended with touchdown passes, and he threw more touchdown passes in the fourth quarter and overtime, 12, than any other rookie in NFL history. All right, assistant coach of the year. Michigan Eddie, where you were at on the assistant coach of the year? That went to Detroit Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson.
It doesn't count because he's a Bear now, so that's why he was like, whatever, neither here nor there.
I get it. But yes, obviously Ben Johnson had a fantastic season, and as David just said, has ended up becoming the new head coach there for the Chicago Bears. How do you think he'll do for the Bears?
I think it's like becoming the head coach of the Titans or the Jets or the Raiders or good luck.
Yeah, you don't have that same offensive line. You don't have the same weapon. All the stuff. He's got to kind of start from fresh.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just good luck. Yep. That's really, I'll sum it up in those 2 words.
There you go. Good luck, Ben. Good luck in your new gig. Just a tough place to go. I heard the owner of the Bears.
Yeah, Virginia. McCaskey. Virginia Hallis McCaskey passed away 102.
102. Surprised being the Bears owner, she lasted that long.
Yeah.
I mean that in the nicest way possible, of course.
Took the Bears to 2 Super Bowls, 1 and a win back in 85, 86 or so, 85 Bears. So,
I think it was 85, yep.
Yep. Absolutely. And then, a few years later, 20-something years later, they fall to the Colts, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Peyton Manning. I think that was Peyton's first Super Bowl, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Devin Hester returned that opening kickoff.
Yeah, he did.
Hall of Fame member Devin Hester.
Kind of like Ohio State and Florida in their national championship.
Yep, absolutely. Real quick on the golf side of things, and it may bleed over into the next segment as well, but your winner from the tournament this past weekend, obviously it was the Waste Management Phoenix Open. They seem to keep things a lot more under control this time. I think the pricing and the threats of getting arrested and all that worked out, but Thomas Dietrich kind of ran away with this one for his first...
Who?
Yeah, exactly. The German for his first PGA Tour victory. Shot 66, 64, 65, and 65 to win by 7 over Michael Kim and Daniel Berger. But Thomas Dietrich is your Waste Management Phoenix Open champion. When we get back, I want to talk about something in the golf world really quick that I think I want to get your thoughts on too. You guys are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida, available on all your devices.
Connected.
Hear your favorite sports talk hosts.
The Coach James Hale Show.
You're listening to the Inside Drive live.
The afternoon underdog.
And your favorite teams.
Braves winning!
We're live on the app. Tune in, Alexa, ESPNPC.com, Facebook, YouTube, and in your car at 101.9 and 104.3. Wherever you go, there we are. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Bringing you the world's #1 auto brand is a lot of fun. Camrys and Tacomas, Land Cruisers and Grand Highlanders. Toyotas are just built to be better.
And that's exactly how we built Panama City Toyota, to give you a better experience.
Where your needs always come first. Where you can relax with a great cup of coffee or browse the Heritage Collection. Or we help you add the perfect vehicle to your collection. Come see us today at Panama City Toyota.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a walk-up with central air and a skylight, and you found it. Now, every Friday night, you get to fall asleep to the sound of your downstairs neighbors' dance parties. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
4. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey and Jay Henley.
This man is destroying golf.
Broadcasting live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios.
You may be right, but our ratings are up and we're attracting new youthful sponsors.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Breaking are the new, I guess this is week 15 in men's college basketball rankings. Despite Auburn dropping to, at the time, number 6 ranked Florida, they retain the number 1 spot, although not unanimous this time. Number 2, David Hayes? The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Oh, look at that. That'll be a nice little date then this Saturday.
If both teams take care of business, one against Texas, one against Vanderbilt on Tuesday, we could very well, it won't change the rankings. It's going to be a number 1 versus number 2 matchup coming up in Tuscaloosa on Saturday. So I believe game day is going to be there as well, if I'm not mistaken. But, that's going to be a barn burner. That is for sure. It's going to be loud and intense, and one of 2 matchups coming up in the next 3-4 weeks-ish. Maybe 4 weeks.
About, give or take some.
It's the 10th. Yeah, because it's coming up. Well, February's only got 28 days.
Yeah. March 8th is their final game.
That's it. That's Saturday, that final Saturday of the regular season. All right, pivoting over to the golf side of things, this is an article that I found interesting. We've talked about how in 2026, the PGA Tour is kind of adjusting their schedule again, making these signature events smaller, etc. And this is an article from Golf Magic written by Ben Smith with the title being PGA Tour told to make U-turn on shameful decisions. This is all player driven. Thomas Dietrich's emotional victory at the Waste Management Phoenix Open wasn't the only feel-good story that developed to the PGA Tour's biggest party. Will Chandler, who is 27, was one of 3 players who earned his spot in the field at TPC Scottsdale in last week's Monday qualifier. In his 3rd official PGA Tour appearance, he hit rounds of 68, 67 to make the cut, and then fired rounds of 68 and 66 over the weekend to finish in a tie for 6th. It feels good for sure, Chandler told reporters after finishing 6th clear of runaway world number 1 and reigning Masters champion Scottie Scheffler. Sadly, from 2026, though, there will be few stories like Chandler as the Tour has decided to eliminate some Monday qualifiers for certain events. This change is part of a broader initiative to reduce field sizes and streamline event operations. By limiting the number of participants, the Tour claims they will enhance the overall quality of play and address issues such as slow pace during tournaments. Not everyone is a fan, though. Some have argued by limiting player opportunities, we'll see fewer compelling David versus Goliath stories. Multiple major champion Padraig Harrington recently hit out at the move, describing it as one of the strangest decisions the PGA Tour has ever made. It was up to me, I'd be focusing more on Monday qualifiers, he posted on X. There's a movie script story nearly told every week. I'd give the leading qualifier a TV draw and get a TV crew to follow him for the week. I would even do this in more significant signature events. We would have a tin cup story any given week. Could you imagine a struggling pro finishing in the top 10 and winning $500,000? No one would begrudge that payout. So obviously the article continues to go on and saying, like, this is player driven. It's almost like the players on the PGA Tour and this policy board are not wanting these larger fields. Maybe because they feel like it, gives their chances of winning.
Well, if you don't want them, then play in every single event.
Yeah, Well, that's not what next year is going to look like.
Right.
That is for sure. But and who knows? Maybe they'll bounce back on it. But when you got guys, and all these guys, that's what's so crazy about professional golf. They're all so good. Even the college guys, the Luke Clantons that are playing in these tournaments, the Blades Browns of the world, who are 17 years old and have some PGA Tour exemption. You're just going to start seeing less and less of that stuff because it's just going to be more about the best players, quote unquote, in the world competing week in and week out. But I don't know. We shall see. It's certainly interesting.
I didn't watch one shot from Phoenix.
I don't think I did either. I did see the Live Tour was on FS1.
I didn't watch I don't think I've even seen a single highlight. No, that's a lie. No, I haven't seen a single highlight from any golf thing.
Yeah. Well, there wasn't really any. There was a hole in one. On 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the arrest numbers looking like?
I haven't been able to find that data yet. But
that's a good thing then, right? Because it means that they were probably well down this year.
I would think so.
I did see one guy crawl and then not necessarily from this year where he was like shimmying across one of the gates to get into one of the VIP areas.
Gotcha. I did see a video of a patron. That's what the Masters calls it. He was passed out in his chair in 16, and the security guard was trying to wake him up, and he just wouldn't wake up.
Why not just let the man nap?
That's right. He was just trying to sleep.
Yeah.
Leave the guy alone. Leave the guy alone.
A little suntan action. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
That's it. Vitamin D.
Yeah.
Good for the soul. Good for the soul. All right. I want to talk a little bit about some local sports. I'm going to start with Arnold in their regional semifinal game that was at Gavlak this past Friday. And I was not there as we were up there in Atlanta, but I got some great play-by-play, and whoever was at that game got treated to a fantastic last 15 minutes of the game. I'm just going to kind of go off the play-by-play I got from Ian, who was there at the game. They were down. They went down 1-0. Let's see. Down 1-0 in the second half. Ball bounced in the middle. Shortest guy on Fleming Island kicked it over the goalie's head, who had come out. They were down 1-0. And then they started pressing everybody up. With about 15 minutes left to go, he said there was a header for Arnold that went off the post. And then shortly thereafter, they tied it up. And then they scored again after that to take a 2-1 lead. And Ian had said the goalkeeper for Fleming Island ran out of the goal, really for no reason, and an Arnold striker chased him down, stole the ball, knocked him over, and was almost right by the corner flag. Instead of crossing it to the open net to the on-running Marlins attack, he just shot it. It was a perfect shot that bent into the side of the net on the far side. It was amazing. The team was stunned. Then we had a great ball right down the sideline. Striker made a nice play to keep it in bounds, passed it across the goal, and after one kid kind of missed it, it was on the far end and just passed it into the open net. Place went nuts.
I bet.
So, Arnold stays alive with a big victory over Fleming Island, 2-1 at home. They move on to play Wednesday night over in Pensacola at Washington, at Booker T. Washington. So that's kind of a rivalry, and usually Arnold's playing them at home, but Booker T. Washington holds the number 1 seed in the 5A tournament as part of the Region 1 part of the bracket. Booker T. Washington beat Choctawhatchee 1-0, and then beat Beachside 2-1. Arnold beat Ponte Vedra 3-1, and as I just mentioned, beat Fleming Island 2-1 to advance to the regional final. So I know there's some people that'll be traveling over to Pensacola on Wednesday night, but good luck to those Marlins as they try to make a run back down there to the state championship, as the next game would be part of the Final Four.
There you go. Well, congratulations to him.
Thank you. Jay wouldn't have done that, so I would have just sat here coughing in silence. All right, the 4A District 1 basketball tournament. I think the last time we left off on this, I had told you guys that Bay was hosting Fort Walton Beach, and Bay got it done with a 1-point victory, 55-54, to become your 4A District 1 champion. So I'm sure the region's probably already out. I don't have that right in front of me, but I'll work on that for tomorrow to let everybody know where the regional stuff stands on the boys and girls basketball side of things. Over there on the 3A District 1 basketball tournament, we had the Walton final of South Walton, and Walton Walton gets it done with a 36-35 victory. Again, that's the 3A District 1. So congratulations to the Walton Braves for winning that district championship. And I'm sure they're moving on to the regional as well. Two really close games there, Bay and Fort Walton Beach, and then Walton and South Walton, both 1-point games that had to be exciting to not only play in, but watch as well. All right, on the boys 3A state championship, hasn't happened yet, but it will happen tomorrow. North Bay Haven boys, they're 6th ranked in the Region 1 side of the bracket. They'll be traveling to play Florida State University High School tomorrow night at 7 p.m. there in the Eastern time zone. So good luck to the North Bay Haven boys, Bucks soccer team there. And then on the flip side, you've also got the girls Buccaneers that are also playing in the state tournament. They'll be hosting a playoff game against Fernandina Beach. Again, that'll be on Tuesday as well at 6 p.m. So good luck to the boys and girls Bucks as they can try to make runs there in the state tournament. Unfortunately, Mosley's girls season did come to an end. They had to play a very talented Ponte Vedra team who ended up beating them 6-1. But Ponte Vedra in their opening round of the regional quarterfinal beat the team they were up against 8-0. But Ponte Vedra is certainly a very strong girls soccer team. All right, let's move on to, this is the boys state tournament. This is the rural classification. I know we got Chipley, who's the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on Baker Wednesday night. Crossroad Academy will be taking on Bluntstown. That's going to be on Wednesday as well. Bluntstown, the number 4 seed. But the Port St. Joe Tiger Sharks, the number 2 seed in the Rural State Championship classification, will be taking on Monroe, and that's MUNROE, with a chance to move on to the region finals as they start with the regional semifinals. So good luck to the Port St. Joe Tiger Sharks. Had a fantastic basketball season and are trying to continue on there in the Rural State Championship tournament. Also want to give a shout out to the Rutherford Rams, the Lady Rams, on the basketball side of things, as they won the district championship in the District 1 3A classification there. They won 44-36, improving their record to 20-3, and I think that was like 23 straight home victories or something like that.
They've been balling for a few years.
A big number of victories in a row there at home. So they will start their bid against Bradford on Thursday. That'll be at home, as Rutherford's the number 2 seed in the 3A Region 1 side of the state final bracket. And like I said, I'll dive into more of the basketball regionals as the soccer regionals are slowly coming to an end, but hopefully not for those Arnold Marlins, as they'll take on Booker T. Washington tomorrow night at 7 p.m. For those wanting to make the trip, but also if you just want to, I think it's like $19 a month, something like that, you can get the NFHSAA app.
That's one thing we can't promise you will be on Lucid Stream TV.
Yes. You might have to shell out a couple bucks for that one, but a great way to watch all these tournaments, and literally you can watch live after the fact. I've even watched some when I had it last year for the Arnold State Championship games. I watched my hockey team from high school play too, which is pretty cool. So, if you're from other parts of the country and those teams are in the playoffs, you can probably catch those games as well.
On that particular network?
Yeah.
So the NF, what does that stand for? National Federal or something?
Maybe it's not F. Maybe it's just N. Because you could search up, you could search up anything on it. Yeah. Let's see.
Interesting.
Yeah. What is it? It's not. It must.
I thought it was NFHS. I don't know.
Let's see. NFHS stands for National Federation of High School Associations.
Okay.
So, yeah, you're right.
Well, I wasn't, because I said federal, but federation.
Well, you were still in the right ballpark. I was thinking it was Florida, and then I threw a national thing, and clearly it's national. Media company there out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Man, that's a lot of streaming. So
they've only got a 1.2 rating on Google, though, and they've had 104 reviews. Maybe.
Well, yeah, because people are probably like expecting to get this grandiose, streaming. It's like, y'all realize those high school kids are probably out there doing their best that they possibly can. We had people complaining sometimes at the YouTube feed up for Mosley football, and they'd be like, "Oh, why can't you follow this?" And it's like, do you know what kind of this is not NFL grade or college football grade cameras?
There's one camera following this game.
Well, on YouTube, there's a few. For Mosley's YouTube, they have a few different camera shots, but still, they're using basically the same cameras that we have in here for some of the shots, and it's like, that's it doesn't just it's not the easiest thing in the world, and I think they do a great job over there covering the games with the cameras as good as they can.
Yeah, no doubt, and they do a good job syncing it up to you and Kyle Wright on the broadcast as well. But you can check that out. And a lot of these, you're seeing more and more technology, especially at soccer games. They got the camera that goes way up there, follows the ball around. Now soccer's a little bit easier because it's the ball is moving and it's not play after play after play. So, but yeah. Appreciate you guys tuning in today. Afternoon Underdogs coming up at 4, and I think Chris Fall is going to join us on Wednesday to talk about this week's middle school basketball action. You guys are listening to The Inside Drive. Have a great rest of your Monday.
ESPN Northwest Florida app version 2.0. Now featuring ultra high fidelity. You'll feel like